Hi, my name's Prab Patel and I'm a product manager here at Hudl. And today I'm talking about a new feature that's going to make it faster and easier to set up game time on your timeline in Hudl Sportscode. Game time is calculated using an on-screen clock, which Hudl Sportscode uses to understand when periods of play start and end. I've got a football or soccer game here onto which I want to add game time. To do this, go to the File menu, add game time, which will open this window. Depending on your sport, you'll define your period type. For this, I want to use halves, and each period is 45 minutes. If your sport can have extra periods after normal time, you can define that here too, so I'll just put in for 15 minutes. Finally, you enter in if the game clock audio and video counts up from 0 or counts down from the period length. In this case, it'll count up. Click OK, and then you'll be told to select the game clock. To do this, click OK here, find the game clock in your timeline, and drag your mouse over just the game clock on the screen. You'll see here that the game clock moves slightly from before the game starts to after the game starts. So you'll want to drag it to cover the position after the start of the game. Then Sportscode will start calculating the game time, which will take a couple of minutes as it reads the game time. This automated process isn't 100% accurate yet. You may occasionally find it doesn't quite detect everything or isn't completely accurate. We're continuing to improve this feature, and later in this video, I'll show you a process to be able to add game time manually, which can be used to let you work with games where there is no on-screen clock at all. Once you're done, you'll see two new rows for periods showing the first and second half. In basketball, you'll see the quarters. And then in the next row, you see game time, which covers the periods of active play. If I select an instance, I'll see the game time appear on the instance player and be able to switch between the full game time and the game time within that period. You'll see here that it's calculated to be accurate to the on-screen clock. If you want to hide the game time rows, you can do that in the bottom bar through this icon here. You can also delete game time by selecting the rows and hitting delete. This is powerful when you want to find moments in the game by when they happened. For example, let's say I wanted to see all of the left-footed shots by Brisbane Roar in the final stages of the game. I can do that using the Find Windows Advanced Find. By creating a query here that looks at the second half, so period equals 2, and anything after 30 minutes in the second period, so game time is greater than or equal to 30 minutes. So we're looking at anything in the last 15 minutes of the game or in added on time. We want to look at Brisbane Roar and filter labels to just left-footed, and you'll see I'm left with two results, which show me Brisbane Roar's two left-footed shots in the closing phase of the game. Not every game is televised and has an on-screen clock. You can still add game time manually and use the same powerful features to find the moments that you need. To set up game time manually, go to File, Add Game Time, and set the correct sport parameters as you did previously. When you reach the option to select Game Clock, select the No Clock Available option. On this sheet, you'll be able to select each period and set the start and end times for each individual period of play. You can either do this manually and scrub the timeline to find the right moment and select Sync Playhead Position to set it. On the next sheet, which is optional, you can select existing rows to populate the active play row. For example, if you already have rows in your timeline data that marks out offensive and defensive plays, you can combine them together and use it as game time. This means you'll be able to find these moments when using the Find window. If you don't need this, then you don't need to select any rows. You can simply click Apply to move on. This will then create the periods and game time rows, which you'll work with and use in exactly the same way.